All right. I also have started the recording, and I think we can begin now. As everyone knows that we have started it 2 or 2.5 months ago as a series of webinar on the Scaled Agile. And we covered 3 episodes so far, and we will be talking about the fourth episode today, where we will be talking about the next 5 safe principles. And the last episode we talked about our first principles that we have. And Mahendra will be our speakers today, who will walk us through about all those 5 principles. And there were a few exercises we will also be going through. So I'll just hand it over to Mahendra. Mahendra, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Niladri. I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Good morning and good evening, everyone. Um, so we'll save the introduction part of it. So for people who have joined earlier, know who Niladri and I are. So we'll save the introduction part of it for that. So let's, as Niladri mentioned, this is the series that we have been having, and these are the topics that we have already covered. So we are put it in a Kanban style. So the overview is done, dual operating system, 7 core competencies, the core values, and the first 5 um, lean and agile principles, the safe principles has been spoken last sitting. Today we'll talk about the next 5 principles that safe has got to offer, and these are to do. And if you see, we have added a new item out here at the bottom. It is we'll be talking about what is new in safe 5.1. Our initial agenda was we'll cover safe 5.0. So towards the end we'll cover what is the delta with 5.1. That's on the overview of the series for just a recap. Yeah, so the first thing that we have today is an activity. So I would require 4 volunteers. If people can give their names on the chat, I'll put the. So what I require, I have an activity for. I would require 4 volunteers. 3 will be the part of the value stream, and the fourth one will be a customer. So if you can let me know, maybe unmute and tell your names. I'll put the names of these volunteers on the blocks. I'll explain the activity in a while. What is that needs to be
Okay,
done?
one volunteer we got as Nitesh.
Okay, great. So I'll put Nitesh here. Second one, please. And in
Thomas
the
George,
meanwhile,
Satish Kumar, Babu, anyone?
just
Vikramjit.
request to
Yeah, you
Satish.
Yes, we
just
can.
need.
Okay,
You can add me, Satish.
okay,
All right,
Satish.
Satish.
And you can just access the link that is given in the chat while I get the third volunteer and the fourth volunteer. And I'll explain what needs to be done. It's going to be a fun activity. In fact, the job of the volunteers is easier because the rest of the people will have to observe
Okay, I
and
think I
speak up.
got one more. Pavitra.
Pavitra. Okay.
Pavitra. All right. And
Uh,
someone wants to act as a customer.
who would want to be the customer?
Nima, Mike, Sahana, Vikram,
Yeah,
Sachin,
you can pull me.
Aditya.
You can pull me, Mike. Yeah.
All right,
Mike?
let's
Okay.
have
Yeah.
Mike. Yeah.
Okay, great. So if you can just get onto the board, Miro board.
Yeah. Everyone, can you just open that link? And once you'll open that link, you may need to raise a request. You directly might not be having access to that. So it may ask you to raise request. So you can raise your request, and yeah, Mike
Mike
already has.
has. Okay.
You can click on done. Yep.
There's one more. Pavitra has asked. Done. Nitesh and Satish, are you in?
Yeah, I am trying, but I'm not getting the page loaded.
Your voice is very feeble. Whoever is talking is very feeble.
क्यों? अरे मेरी क्लास चल रही है यार, क्या तो नाराज हो गया?
Mike has joined the board.
Yeah, there are two people already joined, seems like.
Hey, Niladri, I'm having some technical connectivity issue. So just trying
This
to
was
connect. Nitish.
Nitesh. Okay. Another person has asked. Okay, Zia. Do I call you Kazi or Zia? Okay, we have 4, I guess. I see Mike
And
on the board. Who else is on the board already? And Sachin is also.
I am
Yeah.
also on the board, Pavitra here.
Oh, Pavitra, you're also there. Okay. So Nitesh, is your system resolved or is your connectivity resolved or?
You just proceed. I'm just trying to fix my connectivity.
Okay. So
issue.
can someone replace Nitesh in the interest of the time?
Yeah,
As in
I
non-
joined. I can. Sachin here.
Sachin. Okay. Sachin, I'll put your name.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Sachin, Satish, and Pavitra and Mike. So Sachin, Satish, and Pavitra are part of the value stream, and Mike is the customer. So I'll just explain what needs to be done. Mike, you are the customer. So this is a cooked up story. The whole activity is all about mining the gold coins. These are the gold coins that are there that the people of the value stream, Sachin, Satish, and Pavitra will work on that, and they'll mine the gold coins, and you as a customer will receive the gold coins. So that is the part that you will have to do, Mike, is you will have to probably pick up your cell phone, or you have to maintain the timing. So that is a part that you will have to do. And afterwards, post this activity, we'll have a conversation with everyone about this. Okay, now Sachin, Satish, and Pavitra, what you have to do is, first Sachin, you will have to move all the 9 coins at a time in round 1. Okay, so you can get your hands dirty. So this is how it would work. So you just click right in the center, you just move. So you will have to move 1 coin at a time. So you can't use your control and move and all of that. So I'll tell you when to start. So in the meanwhile, Satish, Sachin, and Pavitra, you can just do a trial. Are you able to get your hands dirty on moving the coins? Because if you click somewhere else, it resizes and all of that. So you just click in the center.
So Mahendra, I'm on a page where it says your request was sent. I think somebody has to approve for me to get
Who was this?
This Sachin here.
okay, is that IDRIS? Is that Sachin?
He,
It says
no.
IDRS.
Somebody else. Actually, I'm in Myro where it says your request was sent.
Maybe. Okay. Not sure.
I'm not sure what's happening. You might want to join again and send again.
I refreshed the page, so I'm in now.
Okay, great. So you are able to. Okay, so got it. Sachin, Satish, and Pavitra, are you able to play around with these coins? Are you able to get your? Otherwise, it is a bit sluggish. You will have to confirm that you are able to move the coins. Yeah, Sachin, I see. You click there. Yeah, perfect. That's how it works. So you can put it back.
I'm not able to move it. If someone can replace me. There's some issue. It's just stuck my, yeah.
Okay, Pavitra, you are not able to move. So can someone take Pavitra's place? Someone who has got access to the board already? Guys, we'll have to be faster. So I'm not asking integral or calculus integration questions or calculus questions. Can someone replace Pavitra? Address
Hi, this is Satish. Even I am not able to move it actually.
Satish, yeah, you just click this and move. Sachin has just moved. You can see I am moving.
I am trying the same way, but
First, click on that
Refresh.
coin and then start moving.
Yeah, click on the coin and then use your mouse. Click
yes,
on the
yes.
coin and then move.
Yeah, even I am not able to click actually.
Just refresh your page, Satish.
Oh, okay, let me try.
Yeah, even Michael is able to move. So just put the coins back. That is what I was trying to tell. So you do a Control Z. Whoever did. So you have to click right at the center and move. Or you can zoom. You can make it a bit more bigger if you are not able to get the center. You can make it 100%. Okay, are we ready? Sachin, you got your hands dirty. Satish, and who's replacing
No,
Pavitra?
no, I am not able to move. I tried again now.
Move it so you can switch me around. That's Mike.
Mike, sorry?
Yeah, you can switch me around because I can move.
Yeah. Mike, you can take Pavitra's this. So, okay, let the customer be outside. So in the interest of time, Neeladri will be the customer. So let's get started.
All right.
Yeah. So Neeladri, you, in the interest of time, we are almost 15, 20
Right.
minutes into it. So let's get. So Sachin, Satish, you are able to move it? Idris, are you able to move the coins? Can you replace
Yes.
Satish?
Yes,
Satish,
I
you
am
are
able
able to move
move.
now? Okay,
Yes,
excellent.
Neeladri.
All
Sachin,
right.
Satish, and
So
Mike are the process owners, the individual process owners, and Neeladri is a customer. Okay, so this is what the game is all about. Sachin, on the word go, you will start moving one coin at a time from this yellow box to this or lighter green or whatever grayish box. And then you move one coin at a time to the handoff area. Okay.
Just
And from here,
one coin to green and one coin to blue.
this is what you will have to do. You can see my screen. Satish
Yeah.
will, Sachin will do this. And he will get all the coins here first.
Sure.
So this is the complete backlog. And this is your backlog. This is what you will do. And
Okay.
afterwards, once all the 9 are here, you'll move one by one over here. So
Fine.
this represents you working on your particular, you're adding value. So you're doing some part of the mining part of it. Once all your 9 coins come here, then Satish will pick up from here and do the same thing. He'll move all the coins from here and he'll put it into this gray box. And once the
Okay.
gray box is filled by all the 9 coins, he will put the next one by one to the handoff area, and so will Mike do. Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay. Because when the times and Neeladri, I request you to note down when the customer, when you receive the value.
right. So
So
once I
you
will say start, Sachin, you can start, and once Mike, you will complete. I'll stop the timer.
stop the timer.
Right.
Okay.
So
Neeladri, over to
Sachin,
you.
yeah. So Sachin, Satish, and Mike, you are clear. Whoever is not talking, can you please go on mute?
Yeah, Sudhanshu, if you can go on mute, please.
Yeah, we're clear.
All right. So we'll start it now. Everyone, Sachin, once I say ready, 1, 2, 3, go. Sachin, your time starts now. Yeah.
Sudhanshu, if you can go on mute, please. Sudhanshu Raut.
I think I'll have to put Sudhanshu Raut on mute.
Yeah, thanks, Niladri. Okay, come on, Sachin. You're doing great. Guys, you'll have to do some cheering also.
All right, people who are just participating, observing, you can encourage them to do it fast, do it slow, or do it correctly.
And by the way, you'll have to note down what is happening, and then there'll be a conversation.
Couldn't these entire things be selected in a single go? In terms
No,
of,
that's the rules of the games.
sorry, I think I missed some part.
Yeah,
No worries.
that's okay. That's okay. You'll have to select one coin at a time
Mhm.
because that is being worked upon. So this is the work that is happening on individual coin. So every coin is being touched upon and been moved. That is the work that is
Satish,
happening.
Satish, can you pick up the coin which are already done by Sachin?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now Sachin starts. So Satish starts.
Satish, start.
Yeah, but
That is
Sachin
a,
have to wait till he doesn't have to wait till everything is in that box.
yeah, that is the round one. All the 9 coins move at a time, Mike.
Okay.
So now you'll have to wait till all the, that's what is the thing. Move all coins at a time. And once all the coins are here, Mike, your
Yeah,
turn
I am done.
comes.
You can-
Yeah. Now
All
Mike,
right,
you pick
Mike,
up.
you can start.
So the activity here is each one of the coin is being touched upon and moved individually. So that is the round one. And the same thing we'll do for round 2 and round 3 as well. Yeah, you can move all the coins to your handoff area. Mike. Excellent. Now you can move the coins one by one to the customer.
Yeah,
give
so
to
last
Niladri.
Mike, yeah, so Mike, you can put it all them to the last. That is what you are delivering it.
That is where you are delivering to the customer. You can put all the 9 coins, and once you complete with all the 9 coins, Niladri will stop the clock. Okay, excellent.
All right, so it's 3 minutes 51 seconds.
Okay, so let me write down here. Oh, I'll have to unlock. Okay, we'll write it later. So 3 minutes 51 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, now we go to round 2. In round 2, there's a slight change of rules. Here, what we'll do is instead of doing all the 9 coins at a time, now Sachin will work on 3 coins. Put the 3 coins in this green area, take the 3 coins into the blue area, and then work on the next set of 3 coins. Now in the handoff area, there are 3 coins. Now Satish can start picking up from the blue area and work. Are we clear? And likewise, Mike will do. And
Yes, so
Niladri,
I will select
the,
3
Mhm.
at the same time, right? I'll select the 3 and move
no,
the
no,
3.
no. Once again, no control. Once again, one by one.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 3. Did I show it?
Yeah,
Yes.
right. So the
Yes.
Okay.
moment it comes into the second column, for an example, for Sachin, once the 3 items are there, then Satish, you can start. You don't need to
You can
wait
start.
for all the 9 items.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
So
I got it. Yeah.
Got
right?
it?
So
Okay.
you will be going in a group of 3. So once 3 is done, you will start moving. Then whenever you are moving, you just need to check that on the backlog they have 3 items.
That's it. And
3 or
Niladri,
more than 3, yeah.
this time you will have 3 readings, Niladri. When is the first 3 coming? When is the
Right.
next 3 coming? And when is the last 3 coming? You will have 3 readings this time.
Right.
Okay. So Niladri, over to you. You can say start when you're ready.
No,
And
that you will not be having a single reading, right? Okay,
it's a cumulative one.
Yeah, see, overall, we can actually take the whole product when you are delivering. So even if we take a
Yeah.
whole amount, that will also come up something less than 3 minutes 51 second. That is what we want to see.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Okay. When you say start,
Okay.
Sachin, you
So
can start.
Sachin, let's start it now. Go.
Okay. Now, Satish, you can
Okay,
also start.
I am starting. Yeah, I think he can continue with the rest, right, Sachin?
Yeah.
Yeah, you continue. And Mike, you
Mike,
take over from there. Sachin, you continue putting it in your, so you'll do Control Z, Sachin. So, okay, let me help you. Okay, Satish, continue. Mike, you put it in the customer box. And Niladri, you'll have to note down the timing.
Right.
I'll help you. I'll help you, Sachin. Okay, Satish, you start.
Yeah, thank you, Vendor.
Yeah. Mike, you can pick up from there. You just do escape or Control Z and move on, Mike. Yeah, great. Okay, thanks. Niladri,
All right.
timing?
So the first increment I got at 56 second. The second increment I got at 1 minute 23 second. And the final product I got at 2 minute 1 second.
Second one is 1 minute 23.
23. And the
And the overall?
last one, the overall is 2 minute 1 second.
2 minute 1 second. Okay, great. Now,
So
for the final round, now the same thing, same activity of clicking one coin at a time. So now you can do one coin at a time. So Sachin, you pick up one coin from the green, then to the blue, and Satish picks up from the handoff area, and it goes on. Clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Niladri, ready?
all right. So who is that? Sachin. Sachin, ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, wait. My scroll is down. Just a minute.
Okay. All right. So Sachin, let me know once you are ready.
Yeah, now ready.
All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay. Now you put the other one green to the blue. You don't have to wait. Yeah. Now Satish, you pick up from there. Now you pick up. Got it.
I'm not capturing all the 10 events. It will be too much. Awesome.
Okay, Neeladri for the timing.
All right. So the first one is at 22 second, then 30 second, then 38 second, then 47 second, then 57 second, then 1 minute 3 second, 1 minute 9 second, and 1 minute 17 second.
Okay, so 1 minute 17 second, you got all the 9, starting from the 20th second.
Right. And the final
Okay.
one was 122, the last one.
Okay. Now, comments, please. What did we observe?
I think the value stream in terms of faster resolution of the
Okay, why did it happen so?
because it was the other one was not waiting for the first activity to get completed and then start all over. It was
Okay.
like the moment
Once
it
again,
was
I'm
done.
asking, why did it happen so? Okay, let me, anyone can talk about this? You're there, you're telling
Maybe
no, there was no waiting and all, but you were,
maybe like
The number of coins were lesser to deliver in the first. So you asked them to move all at a 9. So it of course took time. But when we
excellent,
booked out
Pavitra.
3 and then 1, of
So
course it's faster.
excellent, excellent. Then this is what exactly is WIP limit all about. Work in progress limit.
Faster cycles, right?
So this is what is WIP limit. Now coming to the the sixth principle. Visualize the WIP limit, reduce the batch size, and manage the queue length is the principle that is talking about. In the first round, the WIP limit was 9. In the second round, the WIP limit was 3. The flow became a bit more smoother. The value was delivered a bit more faster. In the final round, the WIP limit was 1. The flow became very smooth and the value was delivered very fast. And visualize, it was visual. There are 9, 3, and 1. Visualize and limit the WIP. So that is what is the first principle talking about. The reason why we do this activity is by doing this, it just sinks in. This picture talks about talks everything. Here you see there's 100% utilization on the left side. The highways are 100% utilized. While if 100% utilization is bad for the flow, here the utilization is not 100%, but the flow is there. The value is delivered faster. What is the value being delivered? We go from point A to point B on this freeway much more faster. So that is the key thing over here. If you want the flow to be smooth, if you want the value to be delivered fast, you will have to limit your work in progress. That is the only way that you can establish a flow and deliver value at a much more faster rate. So this is what it does.
Mahendra,
Yeah.
I have one question before.
Can I just finish
jumping
this, Nitish? This is Nitish, right?
Sorry.
Yeah. So I'll just finish this, then you can. So by having too much of WIP, this is what happens. It confuses the priority because there are too many things to be working on and people get confused as to what to work on, and the prioritization goes haywire. And there's frequent context switching. So people pick up one thing, do half of it, and they pick up another one, do half of it. Our mental capabilities, we can handle only one at a time, and there's constant context switching that is happening. And there's overhead, because if one particular thing is done half and you pick up another one, obviously there's an overhead. And once again, there's focus is not there. So scatters focus on the immediate task. So because there's other things on your plate, it gets defocused. And of course, it reduces the productivity and the throughput. And it increases the wait times for the new functionality, because the new functionality is in the queue. So the wait times for the new functionality increases. Okay, Nitish, you had a question.
Yeah, so if you go to the past slide in terms of the value, the wait time which we are talking,
This one.
So my point is also, let's say, consider in this example, all the lanes which are there, they are at the, what do you say, all are mixed with, let's say, speed of 40, 60, 80. Whereas on the right side, the dedicated lanes, if you consider in that way, even that just reduces the.
Yeah. So Nitish, this example is not about the highways and the speed limits and all. So the point is
Okay.
not that. The point is 100% utilization reduces the flow. So though each one of them might be traveling at this lane is a fast lane. I'm not talking of those lanes perspective. The moment there's 100% utilization, the flow is choked.
Got it.
While if there's not if the pipeline is not choked, if 100% utilization is not there, the flow is smooth. So that is what is the concept. It is not about the speed limits and all. I put this picture so that it sinks in, Nitish. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this, if you can see here, this is a typical Kanban board. If you can see, this is the value stream. The items which are ready. We're not getting into too much of this board and the Kanban ways of working. I'll just quickly brush up on it. These are the items that are ready to be picked up on. There's some analysis that happens. There's some development happens. There's some testing happens. There's some acceptance testing that happens. There's an installation process that is there, and it is into production. Let's assume this is your particular value stream. If you can see, each one of these, if you can use the word columns, it has got a WIP limit which says 3, and it has got subdivided into 2 columns, busy and done. The WIP limit 2 or 3 applies to both of these. Just for convenience sake, I have seen teams which have implemented in a wrong way. They tell, okay, 2 means it is only for the column that is busy, or it is in doing. I'll keep on working on it and I'll pile up in the done part of it. It is just about building inventory. It is once again reducing, increasing holding cost. So that is not the way that it needs to be done. So just in case if you guys are using this type of a board, please remember that the WIP limit applies to both the doing and done column. That is what I wanted to convey. And we'll just park the questions towards the end so that the flow is there. If there are any questions, you can note down the slide number and we can come back to those questions later. Just want to say, I forgot to mention about this. Ram, if you can mute your mic, please, if you're not speaking. The next one is about reducing batch size. Small batches go through the system more quickly, which we saw. If the batch size is 3 or lesser than 3, it was much more faster with less of variability and which fosters faster learning. Niladhar, if you can mute Ram, please.
Yep. Ram, all right.
Thank you. So the sooner we get the work on our customer's plate, the faster we can get a feedback. That is why we should have a reduced batch size. And the variability also gets reduced because if you got more items and each one of the items adds a little bit of variability, the overall variability of the entire package increases substantially. While if you got less number of items in the package, the variability is also considerably less. That is why we should have a reduced batch size. Now, this is a graph with respect to the items per batch. Your items per batch can be your stories in a particular release or your epics that you're taking in a program increment. It could be anything. So it is the items per batch versus the cost. So there are 2 costs basically, the holding cost and the transaction cost. Let's talk about transaction cost first. So in case if you got to make a release into production, if there's only one story that you got to make to release to production, and let's assume that you don't have the CI/CD and the DevOps infrastructure in place and the delivery pipeline, the continuous delivery, and all of that in. If there's a manual effort of the operations people putting into production. To put one story, you have to have the entire change control board and all the transaction costs and the overheads are there. So rather than that, if there are 10 items, then it is the same overhead. So that is a transaction cost. Now coming to the holding cost. Holding cost is basically the delayed feedback. So how how much of delay can we accommodate in getting a feedback, or it could be inventory decay. What do you mean by inventory decay? If there's a particular story or an epic which needs to be delivered, and if we don't, and if my customer is able to, if my competitor is able to do it, it's an inventory decay. Or delayed value delivery. That's a holding cost. So we'll have to find that sweet spot. That's what this is depicting. As I mentioned, the transaction cost is very high if the items per batch is lesser, and as the items go per batch increases, the cost also, the holding cost also increases. So we have to find that optimal that sweet spot. So to improve the economics of handling smaller batches, increase the throughput by reducing the transaction costs of a particular batch. Now, how do we do it? How do we reduce the transaction cost? So by having this automation in place, it could be the infrastructure automation, continuous integration, automation, automated regression testing. And this is basically the purpose of implementing DevOps. That is about reduce the batch size. Now let's see what does it mean by manage the queue length. We have all seen this. So we have all spent considerable amount of time at the toll booth trying to go past the toll gate. The longer the queue of the committed work awaiting implementation by the team, the longer the wait time, no matter how efficient the team is. So just going back to our sprint and the product backlog, let's assume that a product owner is talking to the end customer, and he keeps on adding to the product backlog. So as far the end customer is concerned, he or she has spoken to the product owner, and he is expecting it to be delivered. So his clock starts once his discussion is done. But there's a big pile up in the product backlog already of the stories or the epics which are on higher priority. So the wait time for this particular customer is considerable because you have already started the conversation. So the practice is, why at all we start that conversation if we are not able to deliver it because of other priorities. That is what this is telling. So however efficient your team may be, so you might as well say no. Increasing the processing rate by more efficient development and test practices and things like that is the common goal. So that is how you can reduce the queue length. Basically, if you have automation in place, that is one more way of reducing the queue length. This brings us to the Little's law, which says wait time is equal to queue length divided by throughput. You can increase the throughput by having automation in place and by having maybe some additional resources. Of course, if you have additional resources, there'll be a learning curve also involved. But there's only that much that you can do with increasing the throughput. So the only other best way to reduce the wait time is to reduce the queue length. Queue length is directly proportional to the wait time is directly proportional to the queue length and inversely proportional to the throughput. That is what is Little's law talking about. Now, let's move to the next principle: apply cadence and synchronize with cross-domain planning. Now, let's see how what cadence and what synchronization means from a definition point of view. Cadence is
I have a question if you wanna from the last slide.
Mike, can we take questions towards the end? Because it just breaks the flow. If you can make a note of it,
Okay.
we'll certainly address questions towards the end, Mike. Thank you. Cadence is a rhythmic pattern of events that provides a steady heartbeat for the development. It makes everything routine that can be made routine, so that the developers, when we say developers, it doesn't mean the people who are just coding. It is the entire team which is building the product, so that they can focus on managing the variable part of the solution development. What is the variable part of the solution development? The technical challenges or the technical glitch or new exploration of the new tools or whatever. Those are the variable part of it, so that the team can focus on the variable part of the solution management, solution development. Now, what does synchronization means? Synchronization allows multiple solution perspectives to be understood and resolved and integrated at the same time. So everything works in synchrony, in a synchronization. That is what synchronization means. This is a pictorial view of what how scaled agile framework addresses this. If a couple of terms are not clear at this point of time, you'll have to bear with us, because we'll deal with this as and when we come across the various webinars that we have in the pipeline. Here, this is an example of how there are multiple Scrum teams working on their own iteration length and their own iteration cadence. They are in cadence as per they are concerned, but team 1 is in cadence, team 2 is in cadence, but they are not synchronized. While having a common cadence enables an integration, and the product as a whole gets incrementally built. There's a system demo happening at the end of sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3. As you can see, the product is incrementally built. That is what having a common cadence enables us to intermittently integrate and give a system demo and incrementally build the product, which is spanning across multiple teams. We'll talk about more of this when we talk about Essential Safe. Now, this is from the book of Don Renistron. He has explained the principles of cadence and synchronization in this book, the principles of product development flow. So he talks about a couple of principles. The first that he talks about is using regular cadence to limit the accumulation of variance. So how do we do it in the scaled agile framework? We plan at regular program increment, and so that limits the variance to that single program increment, and it increases the predictability of the agile release train and the solution train. And again, if these terms don't ring the bell for people who are not familiar with the scaled agile framework, bear with us. We'll be dealing with it in more detail in the subsequent webinars. The next principle talks about you provide sufficient capacity margin to enable cadence. In scaled agile framework, we have got something known as an innovation and a planning iteration, which doesn't have any planned scope. So it gives us a buffer, if you can use that word, buffer, so that there's a cushion between the start of the next PI to between the end of this PI and the start of the next PI. And we do have a concept of uncommitted objectives in scaled agile framework. So that is one way the team gets a cushion or a capacity margin to deal with the uncertainties. So the uncommitted objectives is one way of doing it. The next principle talks about if you use a cadence, it makes the wait times very predictable. Let's assume that a particular feature or a particular story did not make it to the cut in this particular PI, but it still remains on a high priority. So we do know that when is the next PI starting, when is the next release. So the customer has got a predictable wait time. working on cadence enables predictable wait time. The next thing, the next principle is about use a regular cadence to enable small batch sizes. So shorter iterations help control the number of stories in that particular iteration. And of course, the features batch size are also controlled by the short PIs. The PI is about a quarter. So, and frequent releases. So this provides a high predictability and a good throughput. Now, the last principle on cadence, he talks about frequent events. It's the schedule all the events using a predictable cadence. So the PI planning, the system demo, the inspect and adapt, the art sync, the scrum of scrum, the PO sync, all of these are scheduled events. So that gives a sense of predictability. Now let's look at the principles of synchronization. What he talks about then the principles of synchronization. The first principle that he talks about is to exploit the economies of scale by synchronizing work from multiple projects. So we have to make we have to take benefit of the economies of scale. So how do we do it? In the scaled agile framework, we have got system and solution demo happening at regular intervals, wherein the all the teams are synchronized and give a system and the solution demo. And we do have a concept of business epic and enabler epic, which drives the common infrastructure. So the business epics and the enabler epics cater to multiple teams. So that is where the economics of scale applies. The capacity margin enables synchronization of deliverables. Yes, as mentioned earlier, there's something known as an innovation and planning sprint. We call it as an IP iteration or IP sprint. During the IP sprint, we give the final system demo or the solution demo. However, we don't take away the capacity of we don't take away the velocity of the team. So the velocity of the team for the particular PI is considered inclusive of the IP sprint. We know that the IP sprint is part of it is meant for innovation, it's meant for planning, it's meant for the system and the solution demo. So this particular concept it enables it gives that margin without even taking away the velocity from the teams. Next is about using synchronized events to facilitate cross-functional trade-offs. So what is it this talking about? You have got the agile release train known as ART or the solution train events. So which happens at a particular synchronized and happens at a particular cadence to enable a customer feedback. So this drives collaboration and cross-functional and cross-team building by having this synchronized events. We are at 10:24 now. Just a quick time check. Are we okay to extend for maybe 15 to 20 minutes? Otherwise, we'll have to break this into two parts. Anyone?
Yeah, I think we can continue because
depending
we
upon
are
the
on.
audience. Yeah, I was just because I happen to eye on my watch. Can I have someone speak up and say, are we okay to continue or do we?
Someone
I
says,
see.
let's
Let's do.
continue. I
Yes,
won't
please
be able to
proceed.
stay.
Yes, please proceed.
Okay, great. Fine. So I was here to reduce the queues and synchronize the batch size and the timing to the adjacent processes. So what we are talking are the teams are aligned to the common time boxes and the similar batch sizes. The agile release train or the solution train work on a regular cadence, and the backlogs are kept short. And there are some we have got uncommitted objectives as well. So by keeping that batch size, by synchronizing the batch size and the timing of the adjacent processes, this is how SAFe brings it. The next one is on the uh, uh, cadence of the harmonic multiples to synchronize the work. Here, what we are telling is the teams integrate and evaluate at the iteration boundaries. If you can see, at least at the iteration boundaries. So at least at the sprint end or the iteration end, all the teams need to integrate. That is what SAFe mandates and SAFe recommends. But it doesn't stop us from integrating in the mid sprint. It doesn't stop us. What we say is at least at the end of the sprint, the integration should happen. And at the end of the program increment boundary, there's a solution train and agile release trains synchronize and integrate. So at the PI boundaries, the integration happens there. And how we talked about cadence, we talked about synchronization. Now cross domain planning. So this is a picture of how PI planning happens, program increment planning happens, and wherein the entire people across platforms, across functions, be it testing, business, development, or support, whoever is part of that particular agile release train, do take part in this 2-day planning event, which is known as PI planning. When we talk about the essential SAFe, we'll talk about more of this. This is where the synchronization happens across functions, across domains. Even the marketing, sales, everyone is part of this mega event, which is a 2-day mega event. So that brings us to the end of principle 7. So let's talk about principle 8. It talks about unlocking the intrinsic motivation of knowledge workers. This is what Peter Drucker told. He was the person who coined the terminology as knowledge workers. Knowledge workers are individuals who know more about the work that they perform than their bosses. I'm sure all of us have experienced this. So let's accept the fact that the people on the ground know more about what of the actual work as compared to what their managers know. So that is what is the beauty of a knowledge worker. Now, how do we motivate a knowledge worker? That is what is spoken by Daniel Pink in this book Drive. He talks about these 3 aspects: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. So this is where the lean and agile leaders, we talk about the we spoke about lean agile leader as one of the foundations of SAFe. So that is where the lean agile leaders play a big role in providing autonomy. Autonomy is about I, I need to control my own work. So how does SAFe bring in? So the teams choose their sprint backlog, and the entire program chooses their commits on the PA objectives. So there's a lot of autonomy that is given out there. Mastery, and we there's a urge to get better and better at something that we keep on doing. So the concept of innovation and planning, IP sprint or IP iteration, is all about giving an opportunity for people to innovate. So that is very essential. And give a purpose. Give a purpose to the team. Just don't tell them what they are doing. Give them the big picture. I'm sure quite a few would have heard of this example. I would want to repeat. So there was a story. The story goes like this. So there are 3 individuals putting brick on a brick. So then an intelligent man goes and asks the first person, "What are you doing?" The first person says, "I don't know. I was just told to put this brick on a brick. That's what I'm doing." The intelligent man goes to the second person and asks, "What are you doing?" The second person says, "I think we are building a big building, big structure, but I don't know what it is." The third person says, "I know I'm building a Taj Mahal." So you can very well imagine whose quality of work would be the best, while all the 3 were just putting brick on a brick. So that is what is the essence of give them a purpose of life. So how do we do that? So in SAFE, the business people are part of the PI planning. They explain what is the objective, and they are part of the entire planning process. Sahana, if you go on mute, please. Thank you. So the purpose. So the entire team is given the purpose as to why are we doing it. So it is not that it is with only the key people. No, right from right to the last man in the entire program, he or she knows what is the purpose. That is what this principle is all about. Unlock the intrinsic motivation of knowledge workers. Now, this is about decentralized decision making. So there's a 10-minute video out here. So in the interest of time, Niladri, I think we can skip running the video, though
Right.
it was part of our thing to run the video.
That's actually
So
very interesting videos.
it's a very
But
interesting video. I'll put it
yep,
on the chat. Niladri, if you can put it on the chat for everyone's benefit,
yeah, I'll do that.
they can you please see the video later, uh, though it was part of our agenda to run through the video and have a discussion. It's a good 10-minute video. This video talks about this naval US naval submarine, and how he managed the entire crew of the submarine. Though it is a US Navy pretty authoritative and structured and autocratic bureaucratic structure, he made every decision as decentralized except one, which is launching of the weapon, because that is very, very destructive. Except that he had decentralized all the decisions which are supposed to be taken on that submarine. And it's a wonderful video. I request you to guys to see this after this. It's a 10-minute video. What this particular principle talks about is decentralized decision making. You say there are certain decisions that you have to take centrally. What are the criteria that should be kept in mind when you take centralized decisions? It should be something which is infrequent, which is not made very often. Say, for example, if you've got an internationalization strategy, so if you got to cater to the left to right, the Dubai and the UAE, that so if your application has to cater to that, so it's not made infrequent. It's not a frequent decision, and something which is long lasting. So made once made, it is highly unlikely that you will not change that decision. For example, if you are moving to from on-prem to the cloud, you don't change that decision very often. It has got, so it's a long-lasting effect, and if it has got good economies of scale, so your decision should be able to cater to multiple teams, and it should have that economies of scale. If it satisfies these criteria, then the decision should be centralized. Now, everything else should be decentralized. Anything which is frequently taken, decentralized. Anything which is time critical, decentralized. Anything that require local information, decentralized. So these are the three, these are the concepts that we have to keep in mind when we categorize which decisions should be taken centrally and which are those decisions which should be decentralized. SAFE gives a very good structure for this particular to make these decisions. So I've given some examples out here. So what this concept, what this formula says is, or what this framework says is, you put the decision out here. Let's say automation strategy. So and depending upon a scale of 0 to 2, you can give a number whether it is frequently taken or time critical. If it is frequently taken, yes. Do we take? I'll just fill it up in the interest of time. Otherwise, I would have invited you people to participate and give comments. In the interest of time, I'll just fill it up on all your behalf. Automation strategy. Do we take it frequent? So, and once again, it is contextual. It's on your context. So let's assume that yes, the strategy is what is the automation framework that should be? It's not frequently taken. Once taken, so it is no. Is it time critical? No. So because that is always taken. It is not time critical. It's not that it has to be done today. And does it affect economies of scale? Yes, multiple teams are affected. So if it is coming between 0 to 3, then you centralize it. So it could be, you can put the cat on the wall also, depending on your context. So maybe I feel it affects the economies of scale. So still it is between 0 to 3. So it is a centralized decision. Now let's take another example. The design pattern, whether I'll use a singleton pattern or a factory pattern or whatever design patterns that we have in place for a particular user story. Is it frequently taken? Yes, I have to take this decision multiple times within the sprint, maybe 2. Is it time critical? Yes, I have to do it in this sprint. It's a 2-week sprint. I have to do it. Yes. Does it impact economies of scale? No, because it is only my team that is impacted. It doesn't impact. So it is 6. So this decision should be decentralized. So this is a framework that gives. It's a beautiful framework which will help us to decide, is this decision should be taken as centrally or should we decentralize it? You can make use of this framework. It's a very good, simple framework. You can read about this on the SAFe website also. Coming to the last principle, it talks about organize around value. So what this, there are 3 aspects to it. The first is you build the technology portfolios of the development value stream. What we are telling is there are 2 types of value stream. When we talk about the essential SAFe, we'll touch upon this operational value stream and development value stream. What each means, we'll not get into the detail, but this is what the technology portfolio consists of: multiple development value streams. So you organize around a collection of development value streams. A SAFe portfolio is a collection of multiple development value streams. The next way of organizing around value, how SAFe brings into play is you work on a concept known as the agile release train. Agile release train consists of all the necessary functions, skill sets, right from your business to your product management to your hardware, software, quality, testing, compliance, operation, everything. So it gives a product focus rather than a project focus. The end-to-end product focus is given by the concept of an agile release train and the scaled agile framework. The third point, how we organize around value in SAFe is we form agile release trains which is cross-functional, so which can deliver value directly. So this is the fundamental. This is what we have been. This is Scrum at the fundamental Scrum essence of the Scrum. It's a cross-functional team. That is one. That's the third way as to how we organize around value. Well, we are 10 minutes over, but we can still take questions. If there are any questions, we can still take them. Mike, you had some question. We can go back to the particular slide. One by one, we can take the questions. Yeah.
My question was on the principle number 6. So you cited a scenario. You were saying if the product owner, basically once we start having a conversation with the customer, then time has started. So from that point where we start having a conversation with the customer to when we actually implement, that is kind of increasing the queue length, if you want to put it that way. So my question was, if we are trying to reduce the period of time that we're having the conversations with the client and saying no too early, does that not give us less time to kind of refine or kind of talk about what the customer is looking for and be able to provide a solution for them?
Excellent question, Mike. So um, uh, what I was trying to tell is you can talk at a high level. So let's assume this is your product backlog. So these are all the stories. So I'll for a better depiction, I'll put these are thinner stories, and the ones which are I'll just make it a bit more thicker. So these are all not so very fine grained. So you can still have those conversation at that level, at an epic level, at a feature level, but not give him a sense that, okay, this particular functionality will start arriving maybe after 2 or 3 sprints, while your team is busy for the next 3 or 4 sprints already. So the moment you start having at the story level, at the particular functionality level, you're just making him making the clock the clock start ticking. So he'll start expecting, okay, when will I have it? Because for you might be dealing with multiple stakeholders. So it could be the case wherein you got you're catering to three different line of businesses. This particular Scrum team is catering to 3 different line of businesses, while you are the only one product owner out there. Now, rather than engaging all the 3 line of businesses at the same time and setting up their expectation, okay, I'll get this functionality. So you might as well start saying no. That is what I was trying to tell, because there are other priorities. Yes, if at all you need to have a conversation amongst all the 3 line of businesses, then you might have to have at a different forum along with your chief product owner, wherein you will be able to get the priorities sorted out amongst these 3 line of businesses. Between these 3, what is that, which line of business makes more sense for us as a company? That is what I'm trying to tell here, Mike.
Okay.
Did I clarify?
Right. So at what point would be the best time to really start getting down into so obviously you have like the scenario cited, you have maybe a couple of sprints worth of stories that the team is working on. You've done other consultations with the business. So at what point do you then start going a little deeper? Is it when you have maybe 2 sprints worth of work, or maybe a sprint?
So very good point, Mike. So I call this as a product backlog health. So what I generally recommend is, what I have seen generally works is, for the next 2 to 3 sprints worth of work should be really fine, in the sense the team should have full clarity on the next 2 to 3 sprints amount of work. How do we know what is the thing? Let's assume that you have your team velocity is 20 story points. So for the immediate upcoming sprints, so you should have work worth of 40 to 60 story points, which is perfectly understood by the team. That is a right product backlog health. Don't worry about these stories or these epics, which will come maybe in the 4th or 5th sprint down the line. Did I answer, Mike?
Okay. Yeah, I think I got it.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions, anyone?
Can you please also show the slide where is the definition of cadence and synchronization again, please?
You'll have to tell me when to stop, Nima.
Yeah, the previous slide, please.
This one?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Um, can you elaborate a little bit on the synchronization, please, if you can? Thank you.
Yeah, see, when you say allows multiple solution perspectives to be understood and resolved and integrated at the same time. So in the safe world, we do have the system demo that is happening. So each one of your sprints, each one of your Scrum teams do have their respective sprint review and sprint demo. That is how a Scrum team would work. However, at the end of every iteration or every sprint, you still do have a integrated system demo also happening. So that is what is this talking about.
Okay.
So this is the synchronization that is happening between each one of these teams. They have their sprint demos here. However, all of these teams integrate and give a system demo. So in SAFe, we have something known as a systems team. We'll talk about it in the next one when we talk about the spanning palette. So this is where the integration happens amongst all the teams that are part of this particular agile release chain, and the demo happens. That is what is this calling about.
Yeah.
Now you read this sentence.
Okay.
Synchronization allows multiple solution perspectives to be understood, resolved, and integrated at the same time. So you are giving a systems demo,
yeah,
apart from the individual sprint demo.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The system team will give a system demo, while the Scrum team will give the sprint demo to the individual product owner. The systems team will give the system demo to the product management. We'll talk about this in more detail when we in the subsequent webinars, Nima.
Yeah, thank you. It's much clear now. Thank you so much, Mahendra.
Yeah. Any other questions?
One thought here, Mahendra, Nitesh here.
Yeah,
Nitesh. So normally we can swap this slide. This should be the first as part of the template, whereby we can individually ask what is the interpretation, and based on that, maybe the next statement could make more.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I thought I should give the definition first, and then makes sense. Yeah, so you're right. So you're right. If that was the case, then Nima would not have that question itself. That's what you're trying to tell. Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? Well, if there any questions on the chat, Niladri, by any chance?
I don't think so. That was my last message. No, I don't have any questions on the chat, and this time we are not on YouTube live. So I think that will be all for now. So Mahendra, you can also talk about the next topics that we'll be covering, maybe somewhere around May beginning.
Yeah. So the next topic would be this one. We'll be talking about the spanning palette. What does the spanning palette consist of in the SAFe balance, in the SAFe world?
Or now what about if we start with what's new in 5.1? There may be something changes. Any suggestions? I think 5.1 is recently launched, and we can go for that as well.
Yeah, we can discuss about it, because for people to appreciate what is new in 5.1, they would have to understand what is the various configuration that SAFe offers, and so I felt dealing at the last would be more logical.
Okay, all right.
Because otherwise we'll keep on telling it is coming. So
Right.
building the story would be much more easier, Niladri.
All right.
So one more question, Niladri or Mahendra. So the next session will be in April, right?
Yeah, see, I actually, based on our plan, it was supposed to be happen on 27th of March, but 27th of March seems like there will be some issues. So we are planning to do it on 3rd of April.
3rd of April. Okay.
Yeah.
The cadence that we had, Nitesh, is every 3 weeks we'll do it. But since we are also have our day jobs and we have our own commitments, so Niladri has a commitment on 27th of March. That's why we were pushing it a week further.
No worries. It's only just to be better acknowledged rather than having some dilemma. I thought.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Thanks.
But be rest assured that we'll cover all these aspects 1 week here and there. In fact, the last time we we had another conflict like this. We did it within 2 weeks. The subsequent this one we had to do it within 2 weeks itself. Otherwise, we try to stick with a 3-week cadence. Okay, so if there's no other question, then can we end the call?
Yeah, I think we can close it up today, wind up today, and thank you everyone for your participations. I understand it's Saturday evening. Everyone have your own plan, but you took your time out and making this webinar successful. Thank you for that. And definitely we'll be connecting once again in our next webinar.
Thank you all, and have a nice day and a good evening, and stay safe.
Thanks,
Great.
everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mahinda.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
Murali.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you.